Hello and welcome to High or Lows, a 5th ed Dungeons & Dragons adventure set in the world of Taraz. I'm Philip Martin, your Dungeon Master, and with me is Laurie Crawford.
Hello, everyone.
Next up is Lizzie McPherson.
Hey, lovelies.
Third in the pack tonight is Mimbo Wang.
Yep, I'm here.
Running after that is Ash Mireya.
Welcome to your hell.
And lastly tonight is Daniel Fletcher.
Bringing up the rear.
Previously on High or Lows, the episode started with the group trying to procure some items from the Swift Hands. Chuck was able to trade for a new outfit so that he could get out of his jumpsuit, but Baracus was unsuccessful in getting a new belt for his weapons. He didn't have enough that they wanted. However, Baracus was given a tip that they would give priority to survival-based items, particularly poisons harvested from animals. After a time, they were given directions to Shognak's place and traveled a short distance there, and here they discovered a small, elderly gnome surrounded by books and an alchemical laboratory, and finally met Shognak, who they were told was the smartest person here. This turned out to be potentially true, as Shognak gave a major revelation to Thistle after he inspected her at her request. With his knowledge, he was able to answer that the old Thistle was in fact dead and been replaced with a mushroom of some kind. But it was odd that she was able to speak and function unlike the other zombies around Homestead. This caused Thistle to retreat from the group, but she was consoled by Baracus for a time and then left to her own devices. And then Shognak also had a strong reaction to hearing that Chuck was psychic, but managed to avoid being interrogated by the group. Tweak was able to trade his scroll of fabricate to Shognak for a couple of his potions and the promise of future fabrications in the future. He then asked them if they would like to stay and read or share some tea with him, which Thistle and Tweak agreed to. Now, with a 6 on Tweak's con save and a 19 on Thistle's, this is where we will begin.
How's the tea?
No, should be fine. You won't be in too much trouble. No, you'll be fine.
Oh, I don't feel so good, guys.
Oh, it might be a bit on the stomach, and you'll need some time to let it set in and hit its full effect. Would you like to stay here, both of you? Make sure you're okay and read. Should be a good time. I can find some music to play.
Yes, because right now I can't move my arms or legs.
Have you poisoned my friend here? I'm going to insight check.
He has to be poisoned.
Yes, well, we'll see.
He did warn him.
I think I want him several times. I also took the poison. It is technically poison, but it is fun poison. You could try some.
I'll peer down at him with a 15.
I'm fine. You guys just leave me here and I'll, and maybe bring back some nuts? Or mushrooms?
Leave you here? We've got business to do tomorrow. Better be
Sure.
good.
Don't you have a class to teach?
Holy shit! Oh no!
No, indeed.
Oh, when did I say that was happening?
I thought it was today. I was going to assist you.
I'd say it's probably nearly midday now, so yeah, you'd still have time to do a lesson.
You were
Yeah.
going to assist Thistle. How are you looking?
Just got a funny feeling in the stomach, but
Same old Thistle?
yeah. Oh, it's a bit of a funnier feeling, but I'm more concerned about Tweak.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm more worried about those kids. You're going to...
It depends on what he's going to teach him.
I was just going to teach them about some explosive materials, nitroglycerin, and how to mix.
Oh, yeah, this is a great idea. Yep.
Yes, teaching kids how to make explosives. That sounds
Well-
legit.
I'm not so much how to make explosives, but the material components behind it, and how to make them and find them.
Wait, quick, how many fingers am I holding up?
4?
Way off. 1. Right in the middle. All right. Are we, I think Shognak has done all he can do.
High or lows, Tweak.
Highs.
Oh, you probably find that stuff further down. Probably, it's usually down. All the boom stuff.
Oh, yes. Okay, that would be interesting. That to teach them. Yes.
Well, no. If you wanted to find that stuff, it's probably downwards. Yes.
Find components for nitroglycerin. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, like the dwarves had access to some of that stuff, but they found it further down. But there is dangers down there, I've heard. I don't know. It's not safe, but you're strong.
But I've got a class to teach. Okay. It's good to know it's down.
Oh, just a class. Oh, you'd be fine then. You'd be fine. Those kids, they don't have the best teachers. You'll be fine. You're an gnome, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Despite what Chuck says.
I was just about to say. There
They
might be
mostly-
doubters to that.
They mostly just do music, some reading, basic math sometimes. I go down and teach some stuff sometimes. I help them with books. They come borrow books sometimes too when they're like the better readers.
Hmm.
If you want to go teach a class, that's cool. I'll stay here and read my books.
Okay, let's go, Thistle.
Okay. And Shockneck, thank you so much. I'm sorry for disappearing before. It just got a bit overwhelming.
No, of course, of course. You're welcome back anytime. We could always try to do some more tests or something.
Yeah, or even just talk about your studies and everything. But I should go help Tweak. So I scamper off after Tweak.
I guess, does Tweak find the school?
This was where you slept last night. It's not far.
Sure, but under his current conditions.
Yeah, sure. But okay. So, what is the rest of the group doing? As Tweak walks out of Shognax towards the school.
Well, I'll look over and like, we're gonna need another trip to the watering hole. Are you okay to form the young minds of this new town that we're trying to
It's just a lesson. It's fine.
negotiate ourselves?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't.
Yeah, okay. If you think it's fine, who am I to say?
Or maybe I'll just call it sick today.
Calling sick on the first day of
You're right. No, I can't do that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to sit in on this class. This is going to be interesting.
Probably an idea to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I'm going to be with him. He'll be fine.
That's half our problem. And what about you, Chuck? You going to sit in on this class?
Sure.
I know you know everything, but you might learn something in this little lesson about explosives.
So what I would like to know, Tweak, you're at the door first. What is? Oh, we'll figure out the rest of the marching order later. But so you stumble out. Immediately in front of you, you see some dwarven ruins. You look to your left, and there are some stairs going down. You look to your right, and you see more houses. Right in front of you is like some like really well maintained dwarven ruins. With that leads eventually to a drop off. What would you like to do?
I will carry on towards the dwarven ruins and take a look over the drop-off.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Okay. I was going to share this with you anyway, but this sort of works as to the timing of me unveiling the map I've been using, because you've discovered pretty much every location on it now. All the important ones anyway. So you go across and you see a variety of buildings, stone, square buildings with different angles, some pillars reaching up all the way to the height of this massive cavern with a river running through it, north to south. Across the distance, you can see another pillar with like a large statue of some sort of stout dwarven individual. A couple more buildings on the other side, but on the other side there are more fields of different produce being grown. You see some of that on the western side, but it's more. There's more. Also just camps, tents, shanties, tarps, or makeshift housing and things of that nature. There are light coming from a variety of places due to the mushrooms that you know, and they're giving off pretty high light right now. It's quite bright. It's probably the brightest you've seen, not necessarily like you've seen bright lights in a flash or for short durations of time, but sustained. This is the brightest you've seen things for a while, and it's very bright. Give me a roll me a d20.
I'll stroke the mushroom as I'm walking past.
Roll me roll me a d20 with advantage.
I got 19 on the d20.
You feel really good just staring out into this, like the river, the brightness of the lights, the nice smooth orderly stone, the people running around. You see life here. You see hope and possibility, and life. More life than you've seen in a week.
That statue would no doubtly be the old Stony that we have seen before.
No, Old Stony is to the south. You guys came in through the southern entrance. Cool. So yeah, you feeling good? Just like staring out into this vista of life and hope, where like most of you spent a week like getting burned by acid. Yeah, I'm gonna give you inspiration, Fletch. Tick that inspiration box. You have advantage on a dice roll of your choice.
First inspiration of the campaign.
You earned it through drugs, but okay. Better than rolling well, and like But you've been standing here for like at least 15 minutes now.
Stroking this mushroom.
Are you guys just gonna stand there watching him?
No, if he's standing there, I'm just going to start walking off. I'm going to the inn, so I'll see you guys there.
I'm gonna stay with Tweak.
Well, I guess I go to the class. It's only been 5 minutes, hasn't it?
High or lows?
Lows?
It's been an hour. But you feel really good. But after an hour you do come to. And like you asked this or that question. It's only been 5 minutes, right?
Should probably go to the inn. Can you call in sick today? Because I don't think I can do this.
I think you can. You don't want to do children.
All right, let's go.
I suppose in that hour that they took getting back there,
Yep. What would you like to do?
I probably would have approached Alamia and Arak and just to see if they need any hand with like some woodworking or something I can do in the downtime.
Well, you could always chop some firewood, I suppose. That's always useful. You could help me do some of the laundry. These children do go through a lot of clothes. If you happy to head me to the river with me and help me hang some of these things. There's always things to be done. Some of the children help, but I like to let them play as well.
Yes, they need their time for themselves to develop whatever games and whatnot they're doing.
It's a harsh life down here. It's best to give them some kind of existence, I think. But yes, Alamia runs the bar and things. Like, if you wish to ask her help, if she wants aid, she should have the handle on things during the day, though. But if you'd like to help me with chores, of course.
Sure. Got to work for our lunch anyways, so I'll give you a hand.
Right, you are.
You're taking on some shift work, are you?
Yeah, got to do something. Can't just sit around all day.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. Look at everyone around here. If you're not picking up a weapon, you're getting something done, at least for the most part. Alamia is there anyone who makes kind of carts and things? I can imagine that you may have use for this kind of transport around this huge town. That's kind of only one of my biggest skill sets.
A cart, you say? Probably they could use it on the other side of the river.
The other side. The other side, you mean the side that don't like me so much?
That's where most of the farming is, I would say. So yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll take my knowledge about.
I mean, tiefling quarter as well, but like they wouldn't take it out beyond the walls. It'd just be for shorter distance things. But maybe at the night markets, you might be able to trade for it there. All right. Of course. As you're doing the chores, like you go basically you hang some laundry, do more laundry. Like there's like 20 kids that are looked after here, so there's a lot of laundry that happens even in fantasy times because shit's got to be clean. And there's also wood to be chopped. What other mundane chores could there be? You name it, they exist. I don't have kids.
Yeah, this is cleaning up shit. There's always shit to clean up.
Yeah, there's literal shit to clean up. What about you, Chuck? What are you doing? You doing anything special or just?
No.
Okay. So you guys are just hanging out. After like an hour of doing chores, Brackus, are you helping out with chores or just hanging out?
If there's a stable around, I might go pop in and just see if there's any work on some of the larger equipment.
There's no horses in town. There are some dogs and such. You saw some animals over by the church.
Wouldn't be any good at that. I'll stay in the inn.
Yeah, you just decompress. After an hour, Tweak shows up. Covered by thistle. Tweak, as you get here, you are drawn by the sounds of music.
Is it my favorite band?
It's very percussion heavy.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Cool. You guys make your way into the inn. Where do you go? You hear the music coming from like the side room. Back room, side room, same thing.
So where do we go to do this class? I mean, they just invited me. They didn't give me any sort of background checks or nothing. Thistle?
I don't know. Hannah said I'd help you out. I didn't hear about any of like if they had to do any checks on your background or whatnot.
All right. Well, I guess I should get a pail of water.
High or lows?
Those.
No, you don't see any pails of water.
A pitcher of water.
You did walk past a river to get here, though.
Well, the bar. We're at the bar, so is there any water behind the bar?
What do you want? Some water? I'll get you a glass of water if you'd like.
I'm like looking at him, pleading with beads of sweat just dripping off my face.
Have some water. And you get handed a glass of water from Alamia. You all right there, little fella?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right.
So where do I go? I've got a class to do around this time, apparently.
Oh, are you a musical one? You just go through the back, follow the music if you want to go join the music class.
No, I'm teaching a scientific class.
They usually just do music for a couple of hours in the afternoon and then go for a swim. You're welcome to go join them, I think. They're happy to have whoever wants to join.
I mean, everyone loves music, but these kids need to learn something that's going to give them a future.
Oh, there's harder stuff in the morning sometimes, but like that's all past. You guys can, if you wanna go do some music, you can or not.
But I mean, I could teach them the chemical compounds in psilocybin mushrooms, and do you want me to play music with them?
I don't know what you're talking about. I suppose I don't really. Yeah, that's an odd thing to say. I don't. it'd be good to teach them something, I suppose. Yeah. I don't think they'll understand that. I don't think I'd understand that.
Well, just basic chemistry. We can start with the elementary stuff and work our way up from there, I guess.
For sure. Well, when would you like to give the lesson tomorrow morning, or would you actually? Because we did talk about we did talk about this, but
Yes, we
didn't
did.
lock anything from my memory at least.
So I don't have to work today?
You know, yeah, no. If you want to give a lesson, that's fine. I'm all over the place with voice. Sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, I could do it tomorrow, but is this like paid time off or?
Like the kids are happy. Our job is mostly just to make the kids happy and like useful for the future and like
They're not going to be useful
survive.
in the future if they're happy. Let me just tell you that. Going to make them miserable, and then they'll grow up to be brave warriors in this world.
Perhaps I think you should do that. Have a lie down and maybe go join the music lesson
You
and
don't
go bang a
understand.
drum.
The world is falling apart.
You might. I don't. I mean, it's. Look,
The fabric of reality is slipping between our fingers at this very moment.
you're talking about the portals. We're
Portals?
safe from all that here.
Or what about the portals? No,
There's only one portal in this whole sphere of what we are, from what I've heard. No portals in Homestead. Never. Not since I've been here.
where can we find this portal?
There's no portals here.
You just said there was portals somewhere in this place.
Yeah, who's giving the lesson now?
Shognak says there's still a great big portal on top of Homestead, on top of Virtue, at the top of the mountain. A great big one, channeling a lot of energy constantly to keep this whole place afloat. He said that's how they do it.
Oh, yes.
Shognak says there's a lot of magical energy that goes into maintaining this place, but mostly it's all powered by that charlatan god. I suppose he does keep this place afloat. He keeps us safe. He did something.
I've got a great idea. I go back to the table with the other guys.
I mean, Thistle is definitely there. Other people are there only if they're like hanging out in the bar, not their room. Where would Brackus and Chuck be hanging out?
I'll just be sitting at the bar, watching the world go.
Yeah, I'll hang out with everyone.
Except Laurie's just doing chores.
Indeed. Teenagers do not like to do chores.
Yeah, so most of the group's there. What would you like to discuss?
So before I leave him, I'll just say, let's book me in. Forget about the science class. They're fine. Let them do music. And I'll walk over to our table where Baracus and everyone's sitting. Well, Chuck's there as well. We can get out of this place. I just realized we need to be able to create ourselves a portal.
How do we do that?
I don't exactly know, but I mean, surely something on small scale wouldn't require as much power. I think it could be possible, and with that other gnome mage guy that we're talking to, I'm sure he could help and assist in this, and we could be free from this whole entire place.
I don't know. If it were possible, then I think everyone would be doing it.
Well, that they don't know. I mean, the kids are doing music lessons just like constantly. They're not learning anything of true value.
I mean, I guess they're just learning about peace. Best they can.
Do you know how fast they're going to die once they leave this place? I mean, they need to learn adventure and how to protect themselves and how to create explosives and useful materials from components around them.
So you basically want to create child soldiers, is what you're saying.
No, I mean, they can have fun, but I mean, for goodness sake, you must admit they need to learn something other than just music and very, well,
100%.
farming, maybe.
I agree with you. There should be more there should be more set up with the militia and maybe some training for the young ones. I mean, nothing too big, but something to help them survive. What's out there just beyond their walls? Half the men and women aren't ready for that. The adults of this place aren't ready for it, and let alone the kids. No chance.
Well, I mean, if we can create a portal or something, like I said, and we have our next generation strong enough, take up.
I just feel like this portal talk sounds similar to those talks you hear of gnomes thinking about ideas and then trying those ideas out, and then next thing you know, blowing up whole townships. I feel like it's definitely worth thinking about, but definitely worth doubling down on research beforehand. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I guess we should get some rest because I feel like the world
Maybe we
is
can
on
go
fire.
back to that Shognak at some point and nosy into some of his books and see if he's got any information about portal usage and the arcane.
I like that idea.
But that'll have to be way beyond tomorrow. I think tomorrow is priority number one.
Does anybody know what Callum is? I mean, most of us seem to be in agreement, but it'd be good to get his perspective.
Heard he was going to do some work. I only got the back end of that conversation, but I think he might be around the back. You're welcome to go have a look around.
Yeah, I'll go for a look.
So you've been working with Iraq for like an hour or so now, Callum?
Yep.
Yeah, you're a good man. I think, yes. You are a father yourself?
Yes. I've got a few little ones up top still.
Must be hard being separate from them.
Yes, but at least I know they're somewhat safe up there.
It is terrible times. We can only do what we can. We are not we're not superheroes. Whatever they are.
Yes, well, hopefully one day we'll get back up there and reunite, but I don't foresee that coming anytime soon.
Ah, yes, but there's refugees everywhere in this time, and perhaps this is one of the last safe places after all. Safer than most, maybe. If not boring and dull at times.
Boring and dull can be good though.
This is true. I imagine you're just like washing clothes in the river right now.
Yeah, probably. I'm just doing whatever.
Just washing dirty nappies, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know, just washing various dirty clothes, rags, jumpsuits, all that sort of stuff. Like, yeah, just a lot of child-sized jumpsuits are being washed right now. Well, I appreciate the company. A lot of the people in this town are too afraid to actually have a child. That's why we don't have a huge amount of children here.
Yeah, it's not the best place to raise a kid, but I mean, still, it's probably worth it for some.
This is true. Life must go on, though. It just feels like conflict is everywhere, and it refuses to let up.
So how long have you been down here?
I was down here just a short time before it split, maybe 7 years. Oh no, I've been down here a lot longer than that. Probably 20 years.
Jeez.
It's a long time.
I came down as a teen. Was able to help out some of the younger children when I came here.
Had the split from Oasis happened at that point?
Oasis is only a recent development, relatively speaking. I think only since before the split, Oasis was just fragmented groups, disenfranchised with what we had to offer.
Probably wanted to run things their own way.
Like I say, there will always be conflict. It is just how we respond to it that is important. Oh well, best be getting back, I suppose, after a time. Yeah, you guys start heading back, and you see it's like some of your group coming out to the river to meet you. Some of the group going to find Callum.
Yeah, I went.
Cool. Yeah, so it was Thistle comes out. You see Callum approaching with Iraqi in tow, and they're both carrying a lot of wet laundry.
Well, you're welcome to come help hang these.
Where do we go to hang them?
I'd tend to Iraq. Like, I don't know.
Oh, we just hang them by the river. Right over here. And just points to a thing right next to it.
Yep, I'll start hanging clothes.
I take some of the clothes off Callum and I help him out. So apparently Tweak's class is cancelled, non-existent. There's a music class on at the moment, but he had a thought from his conversation with Shognak, but this is something we need to discuss as a group. So
Oh,
how about we get these out quickly and then we can go back and have a bit of a meeting.
we can meet tonight. I'm helping out Iraq with chores today.
Okay. What else needs to be done? Try and get stuff done sooner.
Oh, there's always more laundry, I suppose. We could tidy the children's rooms. Prepare food for the tavern. Or the tap house side of the bar. There's always work to be done.
Well, how about if I go get my friends and we can help you out?
I mean, if they'd like to help, that's fine. But they they're not feel obligated. They're guests in our town, in our house.
Yeah, but still. I'll be back.
Okay, well, we're all right. We'll see you back there.
So I go back to the pub and to talk to Tweak and everybody else. So Callum's doing chores. I'm excited about this, about the potential of leaving here and trying the portal thing out. So why don't we all chip in and help Callum with these chores and we can get this conversation going. You guys up for it?
I don't know. I was thinking of taking a walk up north towards where that statue was. It looked quite large and imposing. I'm kind of curious of what that might be. I'm sure Callum would. Has got the chores handled. What say you two?
I'll join you, Barakas. That sounds interesting. I'm in the mood for a big long walk.
Feel like this is a fairly large place. We've only seen half of what it has to offer. We're quite unprepared if something happens or a monster comes towards the gate again. Don't know how common that occurrence is, but I want to be familiar with this place.
You, Chuck? Are you gonna go off with Barakas and Tweak, or you interested in helping out?
Tweak, you still freaking out somewhere?
I'm freaking out. Do you want? No, I'm going with Barakas.
Okay, you guys want to go check out the statue?
Yeah, sure. I'll accompany him.
Chuck, you following, or are you just chilling in the tap and bunkhouse?
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay. Callum continues doing chores. The rest of you head off. You go to the north or the south bridge?
I go for the north so I can show the rest of the party this village hall that I recently saw. It's a place of note.
Well, that's the command. So that's where Marjorie's basically set up. It's not necessarily well named on this version of the map.
Sure,
So-
but it's a place that I'm familiar with. But the other group hadn't seen it because they were doing kind of sneaky work.
Chuck's been there.
We all went there as well when we met Marjorie.
Yeah, you've all been there now.
In any case, we go towards that direction because it's kind of center to the town. Take a look at all the other buildings we haven't seen, and then kind of cross that bridge right there in front of the foot of this statue.
All right. Yeah, you do notice there are more guards out today than there were out yesterday before. Not that they were out after the attack stuff went down yesterday, but more than they were before that. That makes sense. It should. And as you're getting ready to cross the river, say, are you sure it's a good idea to head over that side? After all the stuff that's been going down?
Who says that?
One of the guards on the western side, one of the like regular looking guards. They sort of have a pseudo uniform. It's like a patch on their jumpsuit.
Do we still not have access to certain places in this town?
I don't think that they're going to stop you. I don't think they're gonna like it.
Well, too bad.
All right.
I'm fine with that because what happened that day, that was
All Chuck's fault.
we'll be sure to talk to no zombies. How about that?
All right.
Promises, though.
I can't do anything about that, but I'll send word back to command, just so they know that's happening.
I think that's a good idea.
Do you really need to do that? Do you have to stitch? Snitch on us for just going out somewhere? You're gonna call your little command?
I'm not really equipped to deal with any of this. Hey.
He's just reporting to his higher ups. There is a chain of command, and I can understand that. Report back that we aren't going there to cause any trouble. We're just going there to take a quick look.
All right. So you continue across the bridge. There are no non-guard guards on the side of the bridge, but you do notice just guys, heavy-duty guys, like large men with big crossbows and clubs at their sides. And as you're sort of stumbling across, you notice eyes on you first. And as you're going up the stairs, you hear this one guy sort of looking at you from above, going, "You lost there?
Is the statue over there?
Statue? Statue's boring as shit. You really want to look at the statue?"
Well, right now it's probably gonna be blow my mind.
Goddamn stone statue of a god of some damn nation.
Yeah, why do you want to look at the statue again?
I'm just gonna walk on unless he stops me.
All right, look at the statue if you want. You can do out the stairs. The statue's sort of right there. There are some general dwarven ruins. Probably not quite as maintained as the southwestern stuff where the Shognax was, but not in bad condition. The statue itself is of a dwarf. He's got a shield in his left hand and a hammer sort of placed on the ground, with the heavy bit of the hammer on the bottom. So he's holding the bottom. Looks sort of not necessarily ready for combat, but not unready for combat. A lot of the face has lost a lot of the features over time.
It also looks like this kind of gives us a bit of a vantage point on the rest of the town. So while I'm kind of looking at that, would this statue have any religious significance to me?
You can give me a religion with disadvantage. Oh, I'll let you say with advantage. Oh, not with advantage, just a straight roll based on your history. I feel like someone's already had a look at this.
Even though religion kind of doesn't have too much significance to me, I rolled an 18.
Like you're not really sure, but as I say, yeah, you suspect this is some dwarven god. We'll say that at some point you did fight against some dwarves during your war years. You never fought against him personally, but you recognize his the likeness and the shield.
Does it look like a kind of a benevolent representation of a god?
Benevolent enough, like not pure aspirational goodness, I suppose. Even that isn't, if that even is a thing, but you know, protects his people. You know, enjoys good times, sort of thing. So not evil, benevolent, I suppose. Yeah, wants good things for his people.
Didn't like my chances of finding an evil god representation in this town anyway. Did I, Tweak?
I mean, most of the time, don't you want to deal with good gods? Ones that don't like make your life a living hell?
What's a good god?
I don't know. Do I know a good god, DM?
They've all been acting pretty jerkish most of the time. Although some of the animal gods are pretty good. Generally, the herbivores. They generally try not to hurt anything. It all depends on your definition of good, though.
Don't mind me, Tweak. I'm probably just in my own head here. You study science and alchemy, and yes, if I had a study, this would be one of mine.
Yeah,
I just find it interesting to see that this is the center of the town, and it was a curiosity for me to know what that might be in this place, whether it is a neutral or perhaps a chaos aligned thing in a place like this. It just gives me something to think about. Looking around at the other buildings, though, with this vantage point, is there anything that kind of stands out? Any groups of people milling about and things just to kind of take note?
So nearby, you see two large buildings that are heavily well guarded by large individuals with weapons.
That being the east, east and north.
Yeah, because you're on the east. Because you know that those are the family houses. You haven't been over here so much, but you would have heard from the story about the whole thing that's like the two of the families. You're not necessarily sure which ones, but they're well guarded. There's an entrance to the north which has some guards by it, but it's not heavily guarded on this end. You suspect, like the other one that you came in, that the guards are stationed further out. To the southeast, I should say, you see a lot of just traffic of people carrying food and different supplies down a passageway. You see sort of farms everywhere. You see some smaller houses directly north of you, like a few different doors to different looking dwellings. And to the far south, you see another raised area, which seems to have some sort of fairly nice but not too ostentatious dwelling. Doesn't seem as heavily guarded as some of the other ones.
Walking back, I'll just what did you two do when I was covering your escape?
We interrogated this guy and told him we're kind of in a shitty situation, really. And give him all the details so I can recall and how I tried to explode the door? Or tried to keep the door closed by explosives?
I'm sure that went swimmingly. How did Chuck fare in the end?
I mean, he was alright.
I get by.
Did you find anything out? I'm sure they were giving you more information than you were giving them.
Well, I mean,
Other than they were like super scared.
And you managed to do that all without using your mind powers. Pretty good.
Couldn't really afford to.
Yeah, we've got answers as to Thistle more so, but still yours kind of remain unanswered.
Maybe when he trusts us more.
I mean, we know the trigger, we just don't know how to suppress or even be in control of that trigger.
We do. We know that one of my powers can suppress the issue from arising.
Yeah, I mean, other than suppressing your own powers.
No. I think one of my abilities can calm them down once they go crazy. If I remember correctly.
Calming effect. Perfect. Yeah.
That's not a mass area of effect.
That's true. It only deals with a certain number of them. So we would need to be judicious in its use.
That might come in handy when we get set upon by the rest of these bumfuck townsfolk. Just cast a little calming. Although I don't know if that would play out that well.
Yeah, I mean, it might set off the other zombies.
Set back the townsfolk and then set off the zombies. We may leave this place. For all intents and purposes, we may leave this place worse off than it was, which I'm fully expecting, given our track record, at least mine.
Let's try to avoid that if we can.
Hey, if you keep me in check, I'll keep you.
Yeah, fair.
Freak, on the other hand, it's a bit of a wild card. What do you say, Tweak?
Yeah, we really need to be more judicious in the use of explosives.
I thought I utilized those explosives to the full extent.
Yeah, the problem is the full extent.
I mean, it gave us leverage in that discussion.
No, that is true. Fair. But
And I didn't use it up, so it cost nothing.
that is also fair. But also the use of explosive devices in civilian infrastructure is probably a war crime.
Probably, but I mean, I was going to pass that bridge when I got to it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the concern. Some of us need that bridge to cross and not be burned down. Should we make our way back to the workhorse?
for sure.
You guys make your way back to the Tavern bunkhouse. Callum's still dutifully doing chores. The music lesson is still going on for now. Anything else you guys would like to do? Sounds not. Like the afternoon continues. If there's a thing you would like to do, like the kids break out, they go for a swim, get washed up for dinner. Meals are served. You can grab your food.
I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, how whacked out is Tweak throughout that day?
Give me another con save.
Was he touching the statue a bit too much?
With disadvantage. You were pretty whacked out, but the first hour of just sitting there took probably a lot of the edge off, unless you do bad on this con save.
15.
15. That first hour was probably the height. It sort of kicked in after a couple of minutes, and then you just sort of sunk into it. And then you had your bit of a freak out in the tavern, and then you go for a walk and get chilled out by the statue. So yeah, it wasn't too bad after a while, and you had a good time. Until you had a good time at first, a little freak out, and then you just mellowed out.
Now I'm going to go to bed. So I just like crawl into my bed.
Yeah, the band comes, but this time it's just Skathan and Dynamic Child. No, there is no Yanana or Raslo tonight. It's not a full band; it's more of an acoustic set. But yeah, the night progresses. You have your meal. You can go to bed if you wish. I don't think I'm gonna throw anything extra at you guys tonight. I could. I got a few things up my sleeve that I could pull out, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to give you guys a quiet evening.
Prepare my spells for the coming day.
Yeah, well, sounds like we'll be heading out.
Yeah, I mean, getting an early night is probably advisable. You said you were going to meet band down early in the morning, outside of town, so you guys can do that. You guys can all have an early night. Thistle, give me a flat check. Roll a d20. This is
D20.
for you during the night.
9?
You don't feel any inclination from that feeling you had last night. You don't feel that same connection quite. You don't reach that state naturally, at least, unless there's anything you try to do to help get there. You do have a bunch of hours to yourself.
Yeah, I'll probably start thinking about that.
Okay, for now, you're just thinking about it, but you don't come up with anything to help you on this evening. But you do spend the night thinking about it.
Okay.
Cool. You are all awake in the morning. Let's say I'm happy to say it very early morning, 4 a.m. Like whatever equivalent. And you guys are ready to gear up and head out of town. Is there anything you want to do before you head out of town? It's mostly asleep, this town.
In the morning?
Morning, night, say 4 a.m. It's sort of like the cusp of both, right?
How you feeling, Tweak?
I spent half the night imagining perfect geometrical patterns in my head. I think I came up with quite a few shapes.
Okay.
How about you?
Had a bit more of a settled night. Had a lot to think about.
I'll meet the group downstairs, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you still
Would you
feel
like
like
the
you're in...
privilege of waking up Chuck?
Chuck is, well, he's usually waking up pretty easy by himself.
Okay.
Do you still feel like an abomination?
A little. It's gonna take a while.
Well, you're the best abomination I've ever met.
I'm gonna give Tweak a big hug. If he'll let me.
Yeah, he lets her.
Aw. No, definitely, if we get out of here, we have to stay in contact.
Oh,
You know, I really hate that word, abomination. It's a lot of people, especially from the surface, would describe that being the same thing as, or the same word used to describe fiends and abominations, the same. And further worse, thinking that fiends, those other creatures from my plane, are the same things as us, the devils of the world. And it's always been oil and water. I mean, it's just never kind of sat. We're described as the same things, and you cannot get to further creatures apart, the fiends and the devils.
Well, we'll say that's happening as everyone's gearing up. Is anyone else doing anything specific before you leave? Are you leaving your cart here, or are you bringing it with you?
we should take the cart. Do you think? I mean, I know it's cumbersome, but we can bring a lot more materials back with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it. If Is it something that can be driven, or we're talking about a cart that's kind of gets pulled? Oh no, we're talking about the barrow.
I think it was a wheelbarrow, right? Yeah.
What if they can give me those shafts and cogs? I could definitely get this thing, a lot more easy to roll on the tracks. We could probably jump on it. I could fit it up, and we could be on our way.
Yeah, definitely. Take it.
Keep an eye out for those scraps.
Yeah, if you want to take your wheelbarrow with you, I will not stop you. So you guys start squeakingly rolling through town. Are you going out through the Tiefling Quarter, or are you going to go out through the other western entrance exit?
Southwestern, yeah. Or well, western.
Southern entrance, southern place. Southern will take you to the Dwarven Mines.
West.
Cool. So you head out through the Tiefling Quarter. You're gonna have to carry the umbrella, the wheelbarrow, but if a couple of you work together, it'll have to be some of the bigger ones, not Tweak, but still
Yeah.
defend.
I'll put my big old heavy axe on it. Just ask Tweak, you got anything for this squeaky wheel? It's not going to help out there.
Yes, I probably have something. Let me just take a quick look. I mean, I have
Some
got.
lube.
I've got so I can use the oil for my flask to lube it up a bit.
Yeah, you got some WD-40. Put it on that thing.
Yeah.
You're all.
Sure, you put a few drops of your oil on. It doesn't take a whole thing. Just a few drops. Seems to help the squeaking, but it might come back. It might not at all. It is an old wheelbarrow you found in an old ruins. You guys proceed to take off into the mushroom forest. Okay. It's a tough one because we're a little bit short, but it feels like a really good place to end. Who's got a joke? A safe one, Fletch.
Oh, come on. I was
Yeah, I'm out of
thinking
those.
up my worst.
Or at least one that won't get us cancelled. No, but that does feel like the right place to end. It might be a shorter one, but I don't really want to start something we can't proceed. So thanks everyone for this episode. You should thank us. Thank you for listening. You don't need to thank us. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. You're one of an elite group, and we hope you enjoyed the journey so far. We'll catch you next time.
That's it for this episode of the High or Lows podcast. If you'd like to get in touch, you can find us on Twitter at High or Lows with underscores between the words, or you can find me at Feepster.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed listening, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, which is one of the best ways you can support us. You can also join the discussion on our Reddit and Facebook pages, or even our Discord server, and maybe play some games with us. Links can be found in the description below. Special thanks to Sirenscape for the background audio and Alex McPherson for providing the opening theme. I hope you can all join us next time as we continue on our adventure.